Welcome to the Mind of a Screen podcast. Today's episode it's about a topic that affects all of us, sometimes even if we don't realize it, which is the psychology of media. Media isn't just something that we consume; it's something that consumes us back. So the question is, how do we affect by the media? To explore this topic, we have a very special guest today, which is Beatrina Grevaite, a clinical psychologist from Lithuania. Thank you so much, Beatrina, for being here. It's a pleasure for me. And do you want to introduce yourself a little bit and your background and how did your interest about psychology of media come from?
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm really happy to be here with you, Jennifer. I think it's a very important topic. So, first of all, yes, I'm a clinical psychologist. I have my master's degree in that, and I'm passionate in general about humans, their behavior, about our minds, why we act this way, and so on. So, I was always, as a kid, curious also about those psychological movies, books about people stories and so on. So I decided it was my only choice to study psychology and go deeper into this. Yeah, and today's topic, the psychology of media, I think it's very important one because it affects all of us. In our everyday life, we all have phones, social media. Most of us. I mean, happy. I'm happy for the ones who still don't, but it kind of a bit impossible. That everything happens online. So, and it affects us in good ways also. We have all those new technologies coming and so on, but still there are so many risks, and it's important to highlight that. Yeah, I'm really very happy to be here once again.
Thank you so much. And I think not many people know exactly what psychology of media is. Can you maybe do a little introduction for all of us so we can have a clear mind about it?
Yes. So on the internet, the psychology of media, it is said that it is like a branch of psychology that studies how all kind of media, TV, even radio, advertising affects us. Not only social media is that, but it's the biggest thing nowadays and the most affecting us, I think. So, but it's nothing new. Like the panic of media was all the time here since we had, for example, I don't know, the first we had at home. I remember my parents told me, don't sit too much in front, don't watch all day long all the cartoons and so on, because you will be affected. I don't know, maybe your eyes will get really bad and so on. So it's always like this with our behavior when we don't know. Something, for example, nowadays personally, I feel a bit not like scared, but curious about AI because it's still a new thing and we don't know how it's gonna affect us, where it's gonna go. So it is normal for us to be a bit afraid, to fear the things that we don't know yet. And only with time we can, adjust. I still remember myself as a kid. I think I am kind of the last generation of people who grow up without having smartphones. And when I got the first one, and of course also the computer, internet, I played a lot, and I didn't know how to navigate this. I was posting so many stupid Facebook stories or pictures of me, a teenager. I don't know, like posting too much cringe stuff right now when I see it. So it's important to find your way to navigate in this world, especially when you are still young. You kind of don't know what is okay, what is not. Also, not all adults understand too how to behave in social area, this media, but that's how you learn by getting to understanding, knowing, and doing some research, experiencing stuff in general. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny because I think all parents are the same. Also, I remember my grandma telling me when I was younger that I couldn't stay so much in front of the TV because I would get addicted in a way. And also, I agree with what you said about the our generation to be the last that didn't actually grow up with social media. I remember that I created my first Instagram account when I was like probably the last year of middle school, and it was a really weird world to me. Also to posting, as you said, like cringe stuff because I wanted to share my passion with photos. And I remember at that time here in Italy, it was very popular Retrica, this app called Retrica with all the vintage filters and stuff. And if I see like young people right now, it's completely different. And also with TikTok, many TikTokers are like 14, 15 years old, and they don't look that age and they don't act that age too. So it's crazy also how much the world changed in this topic. So yeah. So do you think the media affect us in an addicted kind of way? Can possibly be that?
Yes, for sure. I see it myself. We getting addicted. I can say because I don't know about other people, but most kind of like every client I meet as a psychologist, practicing one, that they say I can't stop scrolling, or like I do this shopping online very very often just to feel better, or just I feel stressed when I open Instagram. I see other people maybe enjoying life, showing that good side. Or I don't know, also stress when you open LinkedIn, see all these opportunities or people showing off their, career stuff and so on. So yeah, and what you just mentioned, the trends also, like when you were a teenager, it was popular this and that. Same, I remember that too. Some style, even posing. I don't talk about the style, clothes, but just also some trends. As I know, when Snapchat appeared, those were like, wow, everybody did. It was kind of cringe, but you still want to be a part of that, even though you're like, what the hell is going on? So yeah, exactly. I think we need to understand that it is made like this, and it's not our fault completely, that we get addicted, but they use it for us. Our attention actually matters the most nowadays, and they want advertising, and the internet. Everybody needs your attention. They get money for that, but you put your time, watching some things, spending time on like some accounts and so on, some pages. So yeah, of course it activates our brain system, the dopamine. That's why you can't stop. Also the fear of missing out, because there is no end and new things appear, and they are made especially for you. The algorithms that like exactly what you like, what you need, the thing that sometimes you just say out loud what you want to buy, or some stuff, and it appears later on some pages. That's a bit scary for me, actually. And I think it's a very broad topic, and all kind of scientists can explain their way. But yeah, I think for us as humans, the most important is to, stop when you can, and then reflect. Okay, so what am I doing here? Why it's happening? I'm kind of conscious. It is made like that, but there is an unconscious state too. But okay, I sometimes I can't control it, and I want to say important stuff that if you can't control, it's important to look for professional help, really, because if you lose your life, if you lose opportunities, hours, um, then it's important, to maybe do something, because you can be like, okay, I can do myself, I can stop, but sometimes it's just not happening. So just be conscious of what you do, and yeah, it is. Not easy. It is made like that to get us caught in that world.
I think you mentioned some important key aspect. Also, the fact that they get money for advertising some stuff. For example, the influencer, the majority of the time, maybe all of the times, they say something about this new bag or the new hair product because they are getting paid for it. So it's important also to be careful of what we trust and to be critical in what we see. Also about the algorithm, I have this funny story, but it was strange a little bit. I wanted to plan this trip to Japan with my family, and I was talking to my mom, trying to convince her. And the day after, just all the news about this year being the cheapest to travel to Japan, and I sent all of that to my mom, and she was like, "Those are not real proof. They just wanted to show you this because you talk about it." but it's crazy because sometimes we don't measure, so we don't reflect that maybe they showing what they're showing because we want to see that rather than it's something that it's real. And do you believe that the youngest are the most affected to this? Because if I see my brother, he's younger than me, and I don't think he realizes that, but he spent the majority of this day just online, and it don't I in my opinion, that for sure is not his opinion as well, it doesn't really live the real life. He has only like online friends and spend all the majority of this time alone in his bedroom just playing games. And but it's do you agree that the youngest are the most affected?
Yes, definitely. And the reason is simple because the brain is still developing. You know, for the kids, for the teenagers, um, you're still developing the parts of your brain that are responsible for impulse control, the judgment. So it's so easy to, get caught. It's like a daily challenge for youngsters. Also, all the trends in this age, you wanna, be a part of the group. You wanna be trendy. You kind of wanna take some risk and enjoy the life. Try some boundaries. It's all about that during the teenage years to try to make mistakes, and grow and so on. But yeah, it's also a very sad part that, okay, one thing, what you just said, that you can copy some trends and so on. You spend hours, but I remember this situation then on TikTok. It was a trend that people needed to eat some toxic stuff, and like some youngsters even died because of that. And they needed to film, whatever. It was just like some kind of situation they needed to do, but really sad consequences of that. And I think, of course, there's responsibility for the platform, why this kind of content is here, but the speed is so like, quick nowadays that it's a bit difficult to control that. So it's also our responsibility. I imagine also like parents kind of need to talk to their kids, explain and protect the kids what they're doing online. I think it would be amazing if parents care and talk and like check, okay, so what are you looking at? Where are you spending all your day? What kind of games you play? Because it can really influence your mental state. Especially to check on these teenagers, kids who are like really in the rooms for a long time, just locked. Yeah, it's interesting what you just said. I just realized that we can talk about so many different situations when, like, yeah, people kind of live this virtual life. And I also met one guy that he was playing so often in this virtual reality with VR, and he said he has a boyfriend. I was like, okay, good for you. But I later on understood he never saw him. He was just like, it's like a real person, but you meet only online. And it's so funny. I can just yeah, it's like for me was like, wow, okay, it's interesting. I'm like happy for you, but I also, as a person, as a psychologist, don't completely understand. I think it's okay if you're kind of lonely and you still have this virtual reality and friends, but at the same time should be balanced, and you should also have like real friends and real life, and be kind of more, and just not only in your room in this fantasy world. On the other side, I have my friend who played also those virtual games, and she found a boyfriend online, and but he's from Canada. She's from Lithuania as me, but now they are dating, and she is like flying to Canada to meet him. And I was like also in shock when she told me, yeah, I found a nice guy online. I never saw him. I was like, okay. For me, I'm a bit maybe old school. I'm like, interesting. But imagine. So it can be also a good thing. You can learn things online. Even those games you play can help you to, I don't know, get better in some ways. But always be conscious what you do. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree of what you said. I think it's important that we are aware of what we are doing. It's not the game itself that can be bad for ours, but it's how we get addicted to it. Maybe can you share some negative side and some risk that you personally lived in your personal or also working experience that can help all of us understand better what the bad side that are also very important because we, as you said, we have to be very careful and it's important that we are responsible.
Yeah. So I think the most common thing that people really compare themselves to others. Very, very often they mention that. Okay. And then, of course, you feel worse. You compare yourself with people online, usually influencers, even like your friends and so on. But we kind of know and understand that they show only the good side of their life, especially influencers. If you see the background, they prepare all day, different clothes, designers, makeup artists, and not a real background in general. Yeah, and it's made for what we talked before, for getting the money. It's a work nowadays, your career. Um, but yeah, people still like do it, and it's okay, it's normal, because we all the time used to compare ourselves. But in the past it was more with your friends, maybe your like neighborhood, so people like on the same level, in the same place. But nowadays you can compare yourself with millions of people from anywhere, showing all kind of lifestyle and so on. So yeah, maybe it can motivate you, and it's okay to see, and I know people doing great. But really, really important, as you said, to be self-aware that okay, they show only this side and it's not real. Even us sometimes maybe can understand that we also share just some side of story. Maybe you film some nice view, but outside there has some trash, for example. So that's a reality. And even when I got to know some people in my job as like psychologist, I really know a lot of stories what's happening. And if I, for example, check their social media, I sometimes see a very, very different reality. I was a bit even shocked when like people appear and they can be also kind of famous, I mean influential, that they have many followers, and they tell one story what they do or how they can help, but then they come and they tell the opposite, like how they struggle with these things. So also be careful with people offering some help, maybe even though they don't have, I don't know, the specialty in that. I don't know, maybe they are kind of those I call fake psychologists that can give you advices. Maybe they even invite you for consultations, or like can say, I know I can give you a consultation on your style, but they have no, um, yeah, no possibility, capability to do that. Actually, it's just like you can very easily sell whatever you want. So yeah, just once again, be aware of that.
Yeah, I remember that it also happened to me. I don't remember what I was, but I was posting stories because usually I love posting stories when I travel, not for the views that I receive, but for myself because for example, when I change phone, my Instagram account remained the same, so I have in the gallery, so I have like a backup to find the story. And I remember that I hate that place where I was. I really don't remember. And all the people were telling me, "Oh, this is such a nice place," and I was like, in my mind, that is terrible. I just really did a nice picture and tried to have the only thing that was in that city and all. So that's true. We have everybody, like the influencer, but also I think most of us, they just post something that we think is nice. If something bad would happen to me, I will never go on social media, and I don't think Kendall Jenner would do that too, to explain like a bad situation that is happening, because we want to share and to let others think that our life is actually very nice, and maybe the most of the time it is, but not always, because it's real life. And also, I wanted to add about what you said. Like, if I think about 10 years ago, no, maybe 15 years ago, we were compare ourselves, but to like actors, to singers. So, for example, I don't know, I'm seeing Selena Gomez live, which is unreliable for me. I will never have that life, But right now we have, I think, this type of influencer, the TikTokers, that they can be our neighborhood, that can be my classmate that decided just one day to post on TikTok, and now at 19 years old they are buying a house. It was a shock here in Italy because a few months ago many influencers that are 19, 20 years old, so that's pretty young, just started buying house in Milan, which is probably the most expensive city in Milan, while people like me, like the young people that just studied their own life and just starting to get a job and all, it's even hard to get a rent. So we will never have the capacity of buying a house right now. And we see people that are younger than us just posting on TikTok that are actually having the money to do that. So it was a very shocking, and all the comments were actually very mean. I think it's nice for them, and I mean everybody. If you, I think if you put effort, you could arrive. You have the correct contact in a way to arrive at that point. So it's not, I think, that distance, I think, rather than, for example, a pop star or an actor. I don't know if that makes sense what I said. I don't know, that just come to my mind. And what about the body image? Because I think we compare our lives, but I think we compare also our body. Do you experience that aspect?
Yeah, it's also a very good topic because I used to work in an eating disorder center. So I really know about eating disorders, and it's very difficult to cure eating disorder. Relapses are very, very often, and the society doesn't help much with that, actually. Of course, the fashion industry or the models, what we know, okay, we have a few right now, like plus size models, which is still for me, it's like they put just few to show, maybe to get also the agreement from others that look, we are socially aware of that and so on. But okay, it's another topic. Coming back to this, it's also a very sensitive topic, but important. So for sure, like my experience, for example, I went to Pilates class, and our instructor, she was motivating us in a way that, like, okay, let's work very, very hard today, let's do so many push-ups or whatever, so you can eat later on, you can get a treat, kind of, you can then only enjoy the food, which puts a very strange toxic mindset that you can enjoy the food only if you work out too much. So it was face to face, 10 of us here. Imagine if it's happening online. And there are some kind of people who, like, they are very idolized by others and show very nice bodies, work routine, what do I eat in a day, my calories, so on. And if you're a professional and you look at that, you can see that, okay, it's not that nice. I think there can be another layer about this, but it can affect millions of people, millions can believe. It's same as like with fake news or conspiracy theories, that like so easily to get a big audience affected. One person doesn't mean much, but if there is like a group, then it's really, really sad. So I was really mad about this, and it usually actually touches the sensitive, exactly, like the people who are sensitive to this topic, the audience that it's actually looking for that, checking if they have this, disordered body image, or like have a eating disorder, or just like problems with that. So, yeah, it is sad reality, I would say, and not only those influencers or like sportive people online, but it can be just a grandma at the street, or like I don't know, your family members, whatever, at school. A lot of adults, not only kids, they comment your body, how you look, and it's rule number one: never comment another people look body, you can say, okay, you look nice, it's it's okay. But to say, oh, you look so nice because I see you lost weight, or oh, you gained some weight, finally you were too skinny, blah blah blah, and it goes back to both sides. That like, then for those kind of people, you're never enough, you need to be somehow different and different, and go into some ideal you know image. Yeah, so for sure it affects a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing all of this. It's very interesting, and I think, I mean, I know that eating disorder it's a very important topic to mention and to talk about, because also what we see online is not real the majority of the time. I remember that there was this influencer. She was very young, and suddenly she just lost a lot of weight, and she was keep telling her follower that was due to the gym. She just went to the gym a lot, and she started eating correctly. But later it was discovered that she actually did the surgery on the belly. I don't know, I don't remember the name of the surgery at the moment. But I mean, if you did something like that, you have to be honest, because I imagine at 13, 14 years old, just looking at your body and think is something that she can arrive only with eating correctly and going to the gym, which you know that is not true. You have to prevent, I think, that kind of situation. And also eating disorder, um, their online life can let this topic become more broad, more aware, but also can do something bad. But also the real life. For example, in the US, there is this weird thing that I was shocked when I saw, because I also had some eating disorder probably in a way myself, and it was luckily I was good when I saw that. But in the US, in the fast food, or when you order in the machine, they just put the calories. For example, I don't know, this burger of McDonald's, his total calories, and if you remove, because I, for example, remove the onions because I don't like them, you just say, oh, good, minus calories. Why do you have to do that? I understand that probably American society has the opposite problem on a way, but you are a computer. You don't have to say if somebody is taking a good order or not based on the calories, because that can actually damage somebody's life. Somebody can feel terrible that they are eating so much calories. I never look at my calorie my whole life. I will never do that, but I didn't want to see up to my face. So yeah, and in your opinion, what's the most underestimated psychologist effect of media consumption?
Yeah, I think another thing that is very, very visible for me, loneliness in general. And I would say also ADHD stuff. But let's start with loneliness. For example, people, of course, spend so many hours. And even when I'm on a public transport, I just see people just all the faces down to the phones for the whole trip, for example. So maybe it sounds a bit cheesy, but yeah, you lose a lot of time if you check, in your phone how many hours you were online, doing stuff there. Then you kind of miss opportunity, maybe, I don't know, to see a nice view, to relax your mind, actually, because it's really consuming your energy. You are wasting your energy. You are wasting your attention. And I don't know, all those, for example, short reels, going from one app to another, or like at home when you want to watch a movie at the same time you scroll, and then, like, I don't know, something else you do once again. It really can provoke ADHD, but we can also kind of that our attention is not that maybe good as it used to be, that it's not that easy to focus for a long time, to just sit still, learn something, I don't know, study, or whatever, just go without anything, without listening to music, I know, talking on the phone, just you want to stimulate yourself all the time. So yeah. And it's a bit sad because I don't know, for me in Italy seems a bit that people are more social, just on the streets, aperitivos on. Back home, I'm from Lithuania, so we are a bit more, let's say, not like cold, but individualistic. And then I see some youngsters that are not very able to socialize, when they are in a circle somewhere, people just waiting to go and they don't talk much. Everybody's on the phone, and later they feel a bit weird in those real life situations because the virtual reality, that virtual life we have, um, yeah, it is something really affecting.
Yeah, I think the majority of youngest they just are addicted to the phone, but also people of our age. I remember when I was in the US, I was traveling. I was on vacation with my best friend, and she just spent so much time on the phone. She actually had to pay many extra gigabytes for the phone because she consumed all of them, uh, just because she wanted to be present, be online at every time. And on a way, I understand that if you maybe have to receive an important call or whatever, but you are in New York, you are on a holiday, you don't have to have the phone in your hands every minute. Because in this case, I think, as you said, you cannot live this virtual reality and don't really keep in touch with the real experience that you are living at that moment. So I think it's important to balance in this type of environment. Do you have some advices for us that can help all of us to balance? Because I think it's very important.
Yes, of course. As we mentioned a bit today, also awareness and reflection in general. Reflection. Oh my gosh, even yeah, it's important because you need to stop, and you need to ask yourself questions. um, so why I'm spending this much time, do I like it? How do I feel before I start this constant scrolling for a few hours, I don't know, in my bed before going to sleep? Then how do I feel during and after? What content do I watch? How does it affect me too? Because of course there are so many good, even like influencers that they promote. You can, I know, get so much info and all the news, appearing very often. The newest news you can read here online, and it's okay to be, in touch with that, like to be in this world and to understand what's happening, but also why not to take a break for a Sunday, maybe a detox of social media, or just some hours. Important to ask yourself these questions, and just have a nice life. Because when you enjoy your life, you have your nice routine, maybe you spend less time online. I think it has, the connection that when you're a bit bored or sad, you kind of on your phone. And then, of course, you see the nicest things, and you get a bit even more sad, maybe. But if you, just have real connections, travel, you see new things, your brain all the time also can be stimulated by other nice things, by connection with people, um, trying new things, hobbies, movement, eating well and sleeping well. Basic stuff maybe sounds also super basic, but not always easy to do to maintain your lifestyle. So yeah, I would like to conclude that important to understand, all those social media risks, and then you can make your own habits, and you kind of control your life. Then you are not being controlled by others, by trends, by like where to travel, how to dress, how to make my hairstyle like someone. I don't know. But you are more authentic then also, so you can also be authentic in real life and on social media and promote this message. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. It can sound basic what you said, but it's not easy to actually do that. So I think it's really important that we all are aware that it's important to live our lives are the best. Just try to enjoying that, and I think it's really important. And do you have some key takeaways that all our listener can take from our session of the podcast that you want to share with us?
Yeah, the key takeaways would be actually to understand that social media is made like that. It provokes our dopamine system, and it's for us to, decide how to stop, how to navigate this social life. Also, I would say for parents and grandparents to really like protect the younger generation because they are in most danger, I think, especially like, I don't know, when I see some babies given the phone, it gives me also a lot of stress. So we will see the consequences. So we are not that sure yet, but simply just like really being aware. Also seek help in any case, not only about social media, about the body image. And don't be afraid to also confront the people if they, I don't know, like the the gym instructor says to you something like this, you can say, listen, I think it's not right. I don't feel safe in this environment. So to create also a safe environment online, and to, yeah, kind of also keep informed about social media, in general, the media, the psychology of media, because when you understand how does it affect you, you can, as I said, also do some changes, I don't know, do some improvements. So, yeah, for example, I don't know, you as we talked, can provoke ADHD. I think it really can provoke depression, anxiety, actually all kind of psychological disorders. Um, kind of, we are not that sure yet. I think we need more research on that, and we will see in the future. But we already can also feel when we look at our own lives, and it can affect everyone individually. So also just reflect, take your time, and think, so how does it make me feel? And you can, you can't just delete the social media or just throw out your phone. It's an important thing nowadays. So try to find ways how to use it, how it can be beneficial for you in a good way, and how to protect you, yourself, and everyone else too.
Thank you so much, Beatrina, for participating in this podcast. I think for everybody it was very, very interesting. And that was the end of our session. And it was very interesting to see your personal but also professional point of view. So thank you so much. And it was a pleasure for me.
Thank you so much. For me too, I think it's important to talk about this. So I'm glad we did. Thank you.